Hey guys, we're here with Tate Steinlage and I with the Kansas State Collegian staff. My name's Adam Suderman and I'm the sports editor, and Tate here is our football beat writer. And we're also joined by Kellis Robinett of the Wichita Eagle and Kansas City Star, and also Wyatt Thompson, the voice of K-State Athletics, that you hear on Saturdays. So, all right, just to start off with, Tate, just something, Tate, that you've seen that maybe has surprised you about K-State this season?
Surprising for me is just how versatile and dynamic these backs are. We talk about DeMarcus and Charles not just being one guys who can carry the ball, they can also catch the ball, they can also block, and I think that's going to be huge if Jake Waters, we saw what he did against Iowa State.
Yeah, I was really surprised with Jake Waters last week too. We all knew he was good. I envisioned him if he was going to approach 400 yards, he was going to be mostly throwing to Tyler Lockett. Last week he looked more like Colin Klein, so I think that really opens some things up, especially with the pop pass against Auburn and some other teams. So when you see him actually take off out of the backfield and threaten to run, you can't just sit back and totally think, well, he's not going to do it, he's going to pass, let's hang back. Because it's kind of what Iowa State did, and he burned him for almost 150 yards rushing.
I think for me, what I would say would probably be Kansas State's secondary. I think going into the year, I think everybody felt pretty good about the depth in their front seven, but probably not so good about the secondary minus Dante Barnett. I think Dylan Schellenberger has done a nice job. I think those corners have been key. Morgan Burns has done a really nice job. And I think Danzel McDaniel is going to be a really good player, guys. He's a big athlete, he's strong and physical and tough. And so I think those three guys have been key for K-State early.
Well, you didn't even mention Randall Evans there, who was maybe
exactly.
the MVP of the last game. So
well,
it shows
that's exactly right. And but he's the one guy in that grouping that has played a lot of football here. I mean, a ton. He's played in over 40 games. He's been around a long time.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, the thing that we see here, especially with the defense, is there's a lot of worries about the defense, but there's also a lot to look forward to. And I think the Iowa State game, it really gets them to iron out a lot of the mistakes they made, and they realize, hey, we can't sleep on anybody, we can't make these mistakes, and it's going to help them going into the Auburn game, I think.
I think really when you look at this team, I think you saw some discipline issues, as Bill Snyder talked about, a lot of penalties that ended up impacting some of those scores in the first half. So yeah, what would you say about maybe those mistakes and what K-State will need to do to really potentially knock off the number 5 team in the country in Auburn?
For me, a lot of those mistakes were highlighted because it was the start of the Big 12 conference and it's so early in the season. Those mistakes are going to happen no matter what, but those are mistakes that they can fix, and that's a good thing that you can look forward to. These aren't huge mistakes that are unfixable, and a Bill Snyder coach team is going to get them ironed out.
Yeah, I was less concerned with the penalties and silly mistakes than just the speed in the middle of the defense, because Auburn's a totally different level. I'm really interested to see, can they step it up? Can they play with that passion and fire for 4 straight quarters and compete with an SEC team? So far, we just don't know.
I think that's a really good point. And what I would add to that is, I think what really helps is playing here.
Yeah,
you have a dynamic, a major dynamic offensive team coming in here. We heard Bill Snyder say, people think that Nick Marshall can only run. Trust me, he can throw. And he can. He may not be as an accomplished thrower as he is a runner, but he is a dynamic athlete. They have outstanding players all over the field. This will be a major challenge for Kansas State defensively.
I mean, the big thing is we've been concerned with the quarterback run, and I mean, every week it seems like we're stressing on it, and the players are stressing on it at the weekly press conference. But they have to figure it out, because Nick Marshall will absolutely tear up the field if they're going to allow anything like that we've seen. I mean, it's only been Stephen F. Austin, Iowa State. This is Auburn, SEC football. You got to correct those mistakes.
Well, and Kellis and Wyatt, you guys were here, I believe it was about 3 or 4 years ago when Nebraska came on a Thursday night, and obviously the environment was unlike many that we've seen in recent years, but at the same time, K-State fans showed that they can show up even on a Thursday.
Oh yeah, I mean, the crowd was not a problem, other than that they talked all week about keeping the red out, and then 5,000 Nebraska fans showed up. But you know what? I think that added to the atmosphere. That was still, to me, one of the best atmospheres I've ever seen here. The student section was jam-packed. The red in stadium seemed to just make the purple fans that much angrier. They really wanted to win. The team just didn't respond.
Well, this is my 13th year at K-State, and I could sit here and talk a long time about memories over the first 12 years the Nebraska game has won. The other game that I would bring up here that I think will probably be similar when we get to the Auburn game was the 2002 game against USC. That was a great team with a lot of guys that went on to the NFL level. K-State played great that night. I hope Auburn does the same thing that USC does. And what I mean by that is they come in and walk around Friday and see that it's only 50,000 and think, no big deal. Because when the lights are on and we get to 6:30,
I think they're going to be surprised at what this stadium can do, despite playing in 80,000, 90,000 fan stadiums every week. So.
Well, that will do it for us. For the K-State Collegian staff, to sign off, we have Tate, we have Kellis and Wyatt, and we look forward to bringing you guys great content as we lead up to the game on the 18th.